Welcome, everybody, to the VRML VAIL Season 4 EU Double Elimination Postseason Tournament. My name is Nightfire with two E's. I am your sole conductor in today's journey as we adjust our cam here. And I am very much looking forward to the action that we are going to be getting into this afternoon. It is top tier teams, the top, I think, 10 seeded teams in the EU region duking it out against each other in a chance for that number one place at the end of this tournament, where they'll come out with a custom skin for their team that gets sold in the marketplace. A share of that revenue goes to the winning team. It's a very unique experience that we only have in the VAIL VRML, and we really appreciate Axe Labs for supporting VRML to that level and enabling us to do such a unique thing with our champion teams. And so it really amps up what these teams are fighting for at the end of the day, and it's something to look forward to when we get into the later games a few weekends from now. This is a multi-weekend postseason tournament. Today we start with rounds 1 and 2 of the double elimination bracket. Tomorrow we go into the losers bracket and cast 4 matches, rounds 3 and 4. Technically 1 and 2 of the losers bracket. Next weekend we have more rounds, and the following weekend the finals. So there's a lot of VAIL VRML postseason action coming your way. I planned on starting with Academy and URC this afternoon, but there are other games live at the same time. Sunset Ravens versus Ascenders. And I'll go ahead and give the teams the ready up, but I'm not seeing a full lobby for this squad right now, so we may bounce to the other match that is live right now, or at least going to be live right now. We'll just wait and see if I believe it is the Ascenders squad. URC. We're doing Academy URC. Sunset Ravens versus Ascenders is the other match And then round 2, we have 4 consecutive games getting played out at the same time. And for those just tuning in, this is the VAIL VRML Season 4 postseason. What that means is that these teams have been playing in the VRML for what is, I think, 12, 13 weeks of regular season gameplay. They're coming in now to battle out against each other in a chance for prizing. All of their regular season efforts come into this postseason, and that it seeds them in this double elimination tournament. I think we only take the top 10 or top 16 teams in the EU region, and so this is where we are starting at. Ranks 9 and 10, I believe, in the regular season on the EU region. So top tier squads that should be pretty close in skill level going out against each other if, of course, URC gets their full squad in lobby and ready to go. I do see people joining in now. Maybe they were sitting in a shooting range, making sure that they were extra loose and warm and ready to go for the first round. But we should be starting soon enough, and so I do appreciate everyone tuning in, hanging out, and getting ready for this EU postseason. It does mean a lot that you are all stopping by. Quick shout out to the folks in chat as we wait for the final player to hop in here. We'll give them a few more minutes, and then we will just jump over to the other match that is live to see if they're ready for us. But let me take a quick gander at what folks are saying. We do have a good steak, Pesky, Afjin, Quan, Vibing, Real Pav, TTT Gooblin. Thank you all for stopping in, hanging out, and enjoying the action this afternoon. I do see that we are getting ready to go into the game here, but it does look like we are a player short on the URC squad. So we may end up swapping over. But yeah, we'll cast a few rounds, see how things go. We're here. We might as well. We're diving into Miru Day for map number 1, round number 1. URC going up against the full squad of the Academy defense. Not exactly going to be an easy task here, understaffed, but we'll see what they can pull together on their push-up. Nice push in here from Arda. Good smoke wall coming in from the squad, really nicely placed, enable them to get onto the zone very quickly, and Arda gonna get challenged by the duo. Steps over the top, finding the first kill, shooting through the smoke, looking for more. There's gonna be a swing wide here, the whole squad battling it out, and the plant does come down, but nobody's been picked off on Academy's side, and that is not a good start for URC as they are gonna get overwhelmed by the 4 left alive, and that is round 1 into Academy's hands. They're definitely going to need that 5th player. As we do see a little celebration in the sky, a little dancing. If URC is going to want to have a better shot at the offense here. It is unfortunate you can't, that there isn't all 5 in lobby here. And again, we will probably stick around for a few rounds just to see if URC is going to put up an offensive point or two. But I do feel Academy going to obviously have those strong numbers. They're going to have the ability to rotate a little bit more consistently. And more smokes on to B. The play is B. And counter nade from Steps catches one. Gonna be pushing in, looking for more, and swing wide from Bays gets caught out, and Arda goes down. The scan gets put down by Challenger, but it's very fast. Academy 5 alive. I don't think they've lost one yet in these first 2 rounds. Could be a quick advance, a quick warm-up series here for Academy at this rate. And again, a reminder, Sunset Ravens and Ascenders is going on right now, and so we may just give it the half and then pop over to see how that first round is going. That is, not sure what seeds that one is. Let's see. 12th versus... Oh, there's a lot of ascendancies here. Ascending, ascendant. Asterisk, ascendancy. Ascenders. Rifles in hand, and a bit of a switch up on the pace for URC. And a nice opener does set them up for an even 4v4. They stacked actually pretty heavy over onto that B-side defense. And so A is wide open. He's going to get shut down with a kill from Alexi and over the top from Poggle. Another swing wide as Steps shuts down any advancement, and it's going to come down to Beige alone again in a 1v4, overwhelmed by the advance. The swing wide, their information gathered there. They're going to look for the aggressive swing. They'll catch one, they drop back. You can easily throw rounds getting overcommitted here. These players not underskilled. There's one, another Beige. You're going to just keep picking off this one at a time send from Academy. Not what they should be doing in a situation like that, getting overconfident. And now it comes down to Alexi to clutch for the Academy squad. The 4v5, the 4v1, 1v4, excuse me, I think.
30 seconds remaining.
Oof, and Beige almost gets caught out. Time is ticking down, so on the URC side, they're going to have to push. They do have the scanner. And look at the read coming in here from Alexi. They recognize that there's definitely going to be a swing B site. Time ticking down, 10 seconds. As soon as that scanner starts to get planted, they're going to be ready to pop out and finish off the kill in a well-orchestrated maneuver there. Puts Academy up 3-0. Shout out to everyone tuning in, hanging out, and enjoying the action this afternoon. We do appreciate you. It's always good to have new faces in the VRML network, so please do subscribe to the channel. Obviously, there's going to be a bit of a break after this postseason. We announced that earlier this month, but plenty of content to be delivered here during that break, so keep your eyes peeled. Back over to the action. Shots fired, but nothing connecting. And Challenger going to rotate up through... Well, maybe Melissa's better. Rotating up through the stairwell. Jaegercat and Beige. Alexi and Jaeger going down. Beige picking up a nice double there. The big play is going to be this swing from Steps. Catches one out. Melissa goes down. Looks for the double. Can't quite snag it. Has to reload. Pops wide again. Can't get that second one. And it's a nice defensive setup here. The best that we've seen so far. As a flank comes in. Catching out the lone defender on the top. And it's going to be in big. In a 1v2 to try and lock this thing in for his team and keep them undefeated. On defense, Nade comes in. Doesn't connect. Time ticks down. Tries to bait out the defuse. And a good double swing from both sides of the crate. URC gets their first round locked in. At the very least, this first half starting to get a little bit more competitive. URC warming up just a touch. And, you know, it'd be a lot more interesting if we did have that fifth. I think URC maybe would be challenging a little bit harder here. It could also be just a little bit of overconfidence coming in from Academy, especially that round before we saw the 1v4 nearly clutch come through. As soon as the smoke dissipates, Steffi catches one. Swings up, looks for two, picks up the double. Can't get the third. They'll go down on the refrag on the back end. Arda gets one over the top, keeps things close, but it's a 1v2 now for Arda. Slice of HP against full HP defenders on the Academy side. Quick shout out again to the fine folk tuning in. We do appreciate you. It's the VAIL postseason. There's going to be plenty of broadcasts over the course of these upcoming weekends. So, ooh, and Arda actually giving away their advance as that smoke blooms. They cough, and you're going to hear that cough of your Steps holding up top here. 30 seconds left. You have to push the nade. coming out over the top. Shots coming in from Alexi. They don't connect. And Arda going to try and short swing the stairs. Can't find the first of 2 kills they would need. Alexi and Steps survive, and Academy puts another one on the board. 4-1. URC just trying to put a few more defensive points on the board here. Excuse me, offensive points on the board. 1 is okay. 2, I mean, Miru typically splits, I feel like, more than any map. So, I don't know, hard to say. Is 2 or 3 points enough even on offense? Because the defensive has to be a little bit more challenging, I imagine, if you're going 4v5. You're a lot less coverage. A lot more gaps. Already losing 1, 2. Gonna swing out of the smoke. Can't find the kill there. Reinforcements from the top. Steps catches them out. And Beige is alone in a 1v5. Academy locking it back in on round 6. In big, gonna pop out of the hallway there, find that kill, and we're 2 away from round 9, or excuse me, 2 rounds away from the half. I think Academy's trying to do a big A when they put their hands down. That's what I think. That's what I'm thinking, at least. You gotta consider your in-game celebration when the camera's on. Smokes on B, some counter utility coming out over the top. Shots coming in from several defenders through the smoke, and Arda actually going to be the first to catch one. Steph with another, and it's a nice entry onto B site here, weakening the defensive front line. Scanner should be going down here. Multiple kills connecting and leaving Poggle alone. URC putting another offensive point potentially on the board. Unless Poggle clutches this up, finds 2. And they pick up the 3rd onto the tight corner. Scanners down. They have to know there's one here. And they're not going to check in time. They won't. Arda catches it out. URC puts a point on the board. 5-2.
Round starting.
The disadvantaged 4v5 URC squad still battling their way to a couple of points here. An impressive feat. To be honest, I felt Academy really going to have a... well, again, I think when we go to offense, the player advantage really is going to shine more than anything, but... or the player disadvantage, I should say, because on defense, down a player is actually, I feel, a lot more challenging than on offense. Especially if Academy decides to stack sites. Just not going to be... you're going to have one less person to rotate. Almost to be guaranteed that there'll be a player advantage on site as long as you stack. I mean, you can be, I guess. Nades coming in. Melissa fires up with one. A really nice pick there to open up the site. Does get Scanner down as well. Very quick plant. There's only 2 of them left alive, and the defense is pushing in very fast. Where is reinforcements? They're not quite here. Inbig will catch that kill, and Scanner is exposed. He's going to try and fly the corner, and everyone ready and waiting for that one. They'll interrupt that Scanner on the back line. And the half is finished. Academy 6-2 on the defense. We swap sides. We put Academy on the attack. URC on the defense, and we'll see how they do here. Are close to this map being finished. Academy have anything to say about it? 3 round wins. We'll be on our way. moving on to the next map. It is a best of 3. But we'll move on to the next series, which is, let's see, Ascenders versus somebody. For those that don't know, after 8 rounds, round number 9 is a pistol round. It resets the economy. We swap sides. And we do it all over again. Until eventually one team has 9 points on the board. Poggle swings wide and a dominant pistol round again coming in from Academy. 7-2 on the series. And like I said, I think this is where that minus player really stings for URC. They were able to put up some points on the board, impressively enough, on offense, and I think that's more practical. So you can get that scanner down and force retakes, enables you to sort of catch people out on rotations. But being down a player on defense is a lot harder. Look at how weak A site is, for example. All they have is beige here. And a little misdirection has completely committed. That's good though. Nice pickup, Melissa, with a good swing out. I was going to say, this distraction here, doing a good job of pulling this defense over to B site. And here comes the rotation, matter of fact, from beige over to B. A completely left open. 4 players, or excuse me, 3 able to commit to it. Poggle drawing everyone over to this B site. And it's going to be a very simple scan, and Poggle may find a couple more kills, matter of fact. No, can't get the double. A nice refrag over the top there, though. Keeps things close. Scanners down, and a 3v1 for beige. Little tradesies. An Academy. 8-2, map 1 in this best of 3. It is the double elimination tournament for EU this afternoon, not the Challenger Cup. NA will be starting later today, 2 p.m. PST. That will be the Challenger Cup. 5 maps played out. A lot of teams competing for 1 slot to advance up into the top 8 next weekend. Academy setting up for the swing in. A nice kill there from Steph, looking for the double. They can't connect on it. Steph shuts it down. Not ready for the long-range swing from beige, though, and it is going to be a 1v1. Scanner going down at Alexi has to... Oh, now their position definitely going to be given away, but they'll swing out to the kill. They'll swing out to the map win, and Academy lock it in for round number 1. We will go to our next matchup of the afternoon, or the other series that is live. Sunset Ravens versus Ascenders. Let's see if we can see that. I believe it's also on Miru, interestingly enough. Have to get the password on my side. There we go. On lobby. Oh, close the whole thing. Tick pause, everyone. Thank you all for stopping by. We do appreciate everyone here tuning in. It does mean a lot to us. We'll be getting on to our next series, though. And again, there are multiple matchups live right now. So we just saw Academy take map 1 of 3 in their best of 3. And we are going to move on to the second best of 3 series that's live. Ascenders versus Sunset Ravens. That's seed 7 versus seed 12. And so you should be seeing Sunset Ravens putting on a strong performance there. That's the expectation, at least, going into this next series. And let's update the scoreboard here. take a look at the rosters. Sunset Ravens, definitely familiar faces. Jedi Milo been around for a good amount of time in the community. And I'm interested to see where their map 1 is sitting right now, because I do believe it is still map 1 on Miru for them. Could have been just as fast, to be honest. Sunset Ravens could be coming out very strong here. Both the winning teams move on to play again today in round 2. The losing teams go down to the losers bracket, and they will play tomorrow. It does look like map 1 has completed for the other series. I do apologize for my door now opening very eerily. Cats cannot have it closed, so that's just how it's got to go around here. Let's see. A second. Let's see how Sunset Ravens and Ascenders are doing against each other. Oh, I think I got here just in time for the round to begin. Splendid. Make sure I have the right side set up here before I begin. Ascenders. Oh. I believe we're ready. We are going to go on to round 2 in a map that we don't have an intro for. But it is going to be Cliffside. On the defense, we have Sunset Ravens. On the attack, Ascenders. Oh, no, we just swapped sides. Excuse me. Swapped teams there. They tried to catch me off guard. On defense, we have Ascenders. On attack, we've got Sunset Ravens. Let's dive into it for round number 1 of map 2 in this best of 3. I do not know how map 1 went. I'm going to assume Sunset Ravens took it. An early opening kill there. Good teamwork, good coordination as expected from this team. Counter shots from Lord McJigglebun and a double kill coming in. A nice connection denying this offense. A beautiful flash over the top, and that's going to be another double kill from Matt. Looking for 3, can't fight, queen it up. Zenith going to be pushing into the 1v1. Full HP on both sides. And now Jedi taking big damage, but the advantage of holding down that scanner, doesn't need to push out on this play, can wait for the defense to come to them. Zenith trying to throw off the push, and they'll push in, and Jedi connects. It's Sunset Ravens by a slice, but the pistol round opens up, and they're in an early lead, 1-0. While we wait, a quick shout out. Hunter, Annex, Taver, Quano, Silent Platoon, thank you all for stopping by, hanging out, and enjoying the action this afternoon. And what an opening push out here. Whiskey Foxtrot catches Annie. Sunset Ravens taking big damage. At least down a player. No one else really got caught out by those bullets. A nade there from Foxtrot connects. The line here held tightly as Scanner does get put down by Jedi in the corner, but it only leaves the 2 here. Jedi and Adam defend off the entirety of the retake from this defense. Zenith will clean it up with a double. A nice swing in at the end of the day, forcing out that defense from their position by everyone merging in onto the open slot at the same time.
Scan interrupted. Round starting.
I thought for a second I wasn't catching the action, but we did. 1-1, map 2 here. Makes me wonder how close map 1 could have been, but either way, a nice bounce back with rifles in hand from Ascenders on the defensive side here. Cliffside, I don't really know which way it tends to swing, defense or offense, but we'll certainly find out this afternoon. push, most certainly coming to be. Nice instant down there on the edge of that smoke. Definitely slowed down the Ascendancy push. Or excuse me, Sunset Ravens push into this site, but it does come through. Crummel waiting here on this line on site to push in with the rest of the team, and they'll swing out for one. Gonna get dangerously close onto this corner. They'll find two. The kneecaps blasted there. Now sight is in jeopardy, and they're gonna have to retake on offense. Hoggins trying to shut down Crummel, but Crummel is here to fend off everyone trying to stop him from interrupting that scanner. Needs the rest of the team to reinforce over the top, and he'll have it. Here's Zenith coming in through the side. They'll pick up that refrag. A nice kill there into the 1v2. Annie, rifle in hand, gonna try and deny that scanner. Can't get around the scanner. Really good denial of vision there, and tuck in from Zenith. Very good angle. Good teamwork from the Flame to find the kill. The Senders up 2-1 against the Sunset Ravens squad. The higher seed this afternoon in this best of three is Sunset Ravens, and the Senders certainly putting out a strong defensive half. And again, Cliffside, I'm not sure how it tends to lean. So we'll see when we come to side swap how Sunset Ravens defend, but it's still early days in this first half. Round 4 of 8 before we swap sides. Another exchange. B has been the place to be this afternoon. 3v3 here. A bit of a faster paced push, which I love to see. A bit of a varying general strategy from Sunset Ravens on how they attack just the same site. Enough to throw off this defense, but not throw off Whiskey Foxtrot. A nice double kill there. Puts the scanner exposed, and they'll be getting that interrupt soon, unless Annie has anything to say about it. Again, into the 1v2. Has to interrupt that scanner. Has to push in from the disadvantaged position. Gets a nice nade over the top. It doesn't connect. At least not in time. And if it did, it only got Zenith down a little bit more than half HP. So, Ascenders up 3-1 here. Silence here. Again, a different pace. Same site, as they do collapse in on B now. Consistency is the very, at least Sunset Ravens, what they have going for them here. Nice swing out onto the corner. Foxtrot can't pick up the double this time. They'll get overwhelmed. And on the swing, Matt H gets shut down. They were trying to hit the flank, and a much better performance here from Sunset Ravens on the attack. 3-2. First half relatively even here as we get into round 6. A couple more before we swap sides. Do have a cat in sight. They bring it on cam here. Crummel trying to shut down the advance, but really good zoning coming in particular from Hoggins with a nice in-sin. Pushes Crummel off their normal corner, but Crummel still picks up the double. And with Scanner down, it's an advantage defense here. 4v2. Crummel assisting in that kill as well. The onside defender dead. Scanner interrupted, uncontested. And the Senders up 4-2.
Scan interrupted.
Let's see if I can.
Round starting.
People want to see ya. I know you're doing well. Chungus. Back to the mat. Back into the game we go. Crummel again, standout shooter here. How many kills is that for them? 6 on the half. But for the first time, B site's not being pushed. 7 rounds into the half, and we're finally committing to an A-side push. The single defender here, Zenith, trying to shut down everyone that's collapsed around him. Annie, surprised to catch someone there. Nice kill there from the swing around. Foxtrot going to be on the hunt as well. Crummel picking up another, but a nice peek up from Matt H. The double, no, they can't connect. They need to reload. They'll swing out and finish it off. Solid rotate coming in here on the Sunset Ravens squad to catch off a stacked B-site defense. And, well, they still had on-site defense today, but it wasn't quite enough at the end of the day. Nice smoke here, and they're going to follow that down the hill. Very interesting toss. Right into the hands of Whiskey Foxtrot, but Matt H ready to go. Finds that kill. Good opening sequence here. The B is it A? They haven't quite committed too heavily yet. Maybe now they know it's A since there are attackers here. And a nice kill from Flame, 007 over the top. Got reinforcements. Zenith is here as well, making their advance forward. This angle being heavily covered and swung out by Jedi. They'll find that kill. Flame going to try and advance forward, pick up the refrag. They're going to get caught off. And Annie scooping that one up. Puts Lord McJiggleman alone and down into a tied half 4-4. As we swap sides, reset economies, and go to the pistols. Sunset Ravens defend and Ascenders attack. Maybe they'll ascend. We'll have to see. Map number 2, so far dead even, and happy that we jumped over to this other series that's live right now. Very quiet opening here. Slow-paced pistol start. Annie going to kick things off with an early kill. Jedi Milo running into quite a few attackers. Going to try and put a well-placed nade around the corner. The Ensign toss there to zone them off the corner. Jedi reads that nicely and drops back in time. Does again, though, weaken that front middle defense. And you can see with that weakening, here comes the push. Zenith getting into position to toss a nade into the corner there. Doesn't quite place it where they need to. Swings wide, catches Hoggins. On the hunt for more as this defender is trapped in the corner. They'll find one. Adam looking for more. Can't reload in time. Flame flies in, and here comes the duo on the retake. Annie catching Zenith out to make it a 2v2.
Scan started.
Oh, and a great pinch from Matt. Leaves one left on the defense. It's Crummel. They've been a standout shooter, but they're getting flanked, and they don't see Annie on the backside. And the Ascenders take the lead, 5-4. No, excuse me. Sunset Ravens take the lead, 5-4. We swap sides.
Round starting. Get ready.
Again, I do appreciate everyone stopping by, hanging out, and enjoying the action this afternoon. We do have actually multiple postseason games live right now. Breachers also has their postseason. EU should be battling it out as we speak. Obviously the action here, thick and quick. As we Jigglebun catches one, Crummel with another, continuing to find connections there. Really good, fast B-site plan has completely caught this Sunset Ravens team off guard, but here comes the retake. Adam getting shut down by the Flame. Great Ensign, forcing off this defense, pushing them out of the zone, and Jedi catches one. Here comes the pinch. Annie on the other side, nades coming out over the top. Whiskey shuts down Annie, and Jedi is here on a corner. Whiskey ready for it? Yes, the flash there. Jedi dives past the flash And they're battling it out on the corner. Time ticks down, 15 seconds. Jedi's going to have to hit that scanner in a really nice play, forcing this from Jedi Whiskey. Somehow playing this rock just right. And Jedi not going to have the time to interrupt that scanner.
Scan complete.
It's a round win, but everyone's dead on Ascenders.
Round starting.
And sometimes that's what it takes. Tied 5-5. Map 2 starting to get interesting here between these two squads. Definitely glad we swapped over. I believe I would guess Academy and URC are finished by now. Look at this, another quick play here on the B. Matt H with the big double, absolutely denying a heavy utility defense or offense from pushing into B site. Scanners down, Crummel picks it up. They're going to swing out and shut down Adams. Scanner gets planted, and it's a 1v2. Crummel catches the first, tries to drop back and tuck in, force this defuse play, but can't. And Annie catching it out. Locks one in for Sunset Ravens. What a series we're locked into here. I do not know how map 1 went. But map 2 certainly close. Cliffside certainly keeping things close.
Round starting. Get ready.
A little bit of a switch up. Dumping over to an A site push with a bit of a B site distraction. We'll see how this works out with Jedi right here. They could find a big triple, but they won't. They'll get shut down very fast. They're going to be ready for another defender. No, they're not. Annie picks up 2, makes it 3. Rounds over just like that, and Sunset Ravens are starting to run away with map 2. I like the effort. I like the intention. I like what Ascenders had planned there. But that did not go well. Into our next round, we stay on board, Annie. But they're not going to connect with much because the push coming over it towards B site. Hoggins with the first kill. Getting ready to push up and counteract this defense a little bit more. The flanks coming in. Resulting in trade. Zenith catches Hoggins on the short fight there, and it's a 3v3. Matt's got a good line. They're going to see the cross. Can't connect through the smoke, though. Adam's going to have to push up off of this. They'll get shut down. Keeps it 2v2. On the flank is Annie. They've been a standout shooter so far. Kills 16 and 6 on the map. Trying to make a 17. Can't quite connect there. Going to be a dual side pinch here, as you also see Matt coming in from the other angle. Time ticks down. 30 seconds left to interrupt the scanner. And a big swing from Annie. Gun down. Got caught out. Matt H. going to try and hit the flank here. Fumbles the nade they wanted to toss. And is going to go for the gunfight. The 1v1 right down the barrel. Matt H. connects with 15 seconds left. They'll be able to interrupt this scanner, and it is going to be Sunset Ravens taking another point.
Scan interrupted.
Just barely, though. Just barely. 8-5. In map number 2 here, and Ascenders trying their hardest to put some offensive points on the board. They've got clear and concise plans, good utility placement, but they're getting countered by sometimes flanks, by big clutches. Triple kill there from Annie as they now go 17 and 7. Matt H right there with them, 16 and 7, makes it 17 and 7. A pair of 17s is pretty dang impressive. They're going to make it 18. Looking for 19. No, Annie says, I want 18. Pair of 18s. As the standout shooters of Sunset Ravens get hungry for more. They want to top the charts. but it might be a tie at this rate. Flame trying to fend off the 1v4 push. Going to be absolutely overwhelmed here in a matter of moments, and it's going to be Matt H with the higher KD, 19 and 7. And a win into Sunset Ravens' hands, but a hard-fought one nonetheless. I am going to assume that's the end of the best of 3 for this squad, but I don't know how map 1 went for Ascenders. I do know how map 2 went, though. And I do believe that it is Sunset Ravens taking the series in 2. So what that means is that we go to a brief intermission and we come back. We have 4 series being played out at the same time, the second round of the double elimination tournament. The losers here are done for the afternoon. They'll be playing tomorrow in our do or die losers bracket elimination rounds, where the loser there has their season finished. At least that's what I believe. Yeah. Double check the bracket. Let me make sure I'm right. Yeah, Sunset Ravens on 9-2 on Miru. So it's a very similar outcome, honestly, to what we saw with Academy in URC. Let's see here. Round 2 is going to be Asterix Ascending, Ascendancy DNA, Vanguard Gaming EU versus Sunset Ravens, and Relentless EU versus Academy, I'm assuming, coming out of the win there. And yes, we have 2 losers bracket. Yeah, we have multiple games tomorrow. I think 4 losers bracket series, all best of 3s. And so a lot of VAIL left ahead of us. A lot of VAIL left today. So don't go anywhere. We're going to go to a brief break. When we come back, more VRML postseason double elimination action. Do not miss it. welcome everybody to the VAIL VRML EU Season 4 postseason. It's the double elimination bracket, and my name is Nightfire with 2 E's. We've gotten 2 best of 3 series already completed this afternoon, and 2 teams advancing on into round 2 of the double elimination bracket. We have 2 teams that have been knocked down into the losers bracket, and we'll be revisiting with them tomorrow, where we'll cast every losers bracket matchup to see who gets eliminated and who gets to advance forward through that losers bracket. Then, the next weekend, we'll be joining up into that winners bracket, casting all the matches in the winners bracket back to the losers bracket. Next Sunday, more winners bracket, losers bracket, and then the following weekend, the semis and finals. So 3 weekends of VAIL postseason coming at you here, which is something that I'm very excited about. You know, again, more VAIL on the VRML network is always something to look forward to. And I do hope that we get some solid series like we just saw with Ascenders and Sunset Ravens, a pretty close map number 2 at the end of the day, one that I was honestly pretty happy with tuning into. A couple of great double kills, multi-kills, big clutches, standout shooters. I think Mac getting 19 kills in a map, which is crazy, almost hitting that 20 spot. And off to a good start for the EU region. Now, again, we go into round 2, where we have seeds 1 through 8, essentially duking it out against each other. Right now is seeds 5 and 6, I believe, 4 and 5, Ascendancy versus DNA in the EU region. So this one should be solid. Some familiar names on the rosters there on Ascendancy with Reality on VR, 24 Gray, I Am the Danger, Taz. Also familiar faces on DNA with Sir Ultimate, still rocking that poise tag at the front. And I'm very interested to see how they're going to fare against Ascendancy. I do think that DNA should arguably be the favorites, the stronger regular season record. For those that are tuning in and don't know, this is the postseason. So we've had a regular season that's lasted 12, 13 weeks. These teams have played against each other multiple times already, potentially. We can pull up the stats and metrics on it if we want, but it's they've been playing hard all season long to essentially be seeded in the postseason ladder. So again, these are seeds 4 and 5. They didn't have to play in round 1 of this double elimination tournament because they were seeded higher in this tournament. So you kind of get a free bye essentially by being one of the top 7 teams with how the double elimination tournament's organized. For NA, it'll be a little bit different. We'll be doing a Challenger Cup this weekend, which will be basically all the teams seed ranked 8 and lower. I think we have 8 or 9, or I think we have like 16 teams, something like that, in the Challenger Cup. So we'll be playing 5 rounds, 5 maps, and that starts at 2 p.m. PST later today. So we still do have some action here in front of us, even after EU finishes, and it's just taking a little bit of time. I know there's other games that are ready to go. You know, we want to jump into the action. But I am getting word that I think the 5th is coming. Hopefully not another 4v5. Definitely not what you want. Your first best of 3 in the double elimination bracket. You can see there, URC had to fight that uphill battle against Academy, and that was not easy. But I do appreciate everyone stopping by, hanging out, and enjoying the action this afternoon, and patiently waiting for us to get into our next game. See Hunter in here. I see Real Human. Rev's been hanging out. Charcoal. Blue Pacifier. Impossible to know. Hoggins is in here. We just saw him. He was just playing. Alright. I think we have to look for our another series here. Oh, just in time, right as I say that. It took Granddad 4 minutes to load. That man needs to feed his hamster more. You know what I mean? Okay, we've got all 5 in a lobby, and we should be diving into it. Shortly. Depending on how this fares out, we may jump around to another best of 3. I mean, frankly, we should. But yeah, we'll see. I like to stick around for at least a map, and then we'll go to map 2 of another series, and then see where we're at with map 3, if any best of 3s are going to a third map. That's the general plan. We have 4 best of 3s going right now, so. Just waiting on these squads to start. We will get into the action. Again, I appreciate everyone's patience. Thank you all for waiting for things to begin. Not quite sure what the holdup is here, because I am getting ready to go to another another series at this point. I'm pretty sure there are other ones live right now. But here we go. Round number 1 has been... Map 1, excuse me, has been chosen of this best of 3 series. This is going to be Miru Knight. Saw Knight maps get a little more prominent. I think Season 3. We're seeing it here in Season 4. And on the defense, we have DNA. On the attack, we have Ascendancy. No, excuse me. Other way around. Swapped up on me. I had it right the first time. Ascendancy on defense, and on attack, DNA. Round 1 of this best of 3. The action begins, and so far pretty tame. No shots coming out quite yet. Nades and utility coming through. The pistol opener typically tends to be better played if you stack yourself on offense. You have a bit more of an advantage, obviously more guns, but that's a nice pickup from Bambuza. You're looking for more along these crates. Nice smoke gonna deny vision. Bambuza not gonna see the swing. Tay does catch one, and they're gonna be fighting up over to the middle. Afghan does catch a kill. No, the nade doesn't connect there. They try and toss it out over the top, getting flanked from the backside there. A nice push in from Ferdinand. Scanner does go down, though, and they're going to have to swing out. Semtex comes flying. They're going to challenge up in the corner, and now it's a 2v3. Good retake here from the trio. They'll absolutely overwhelm the on-site defense. Going to be Ascendancy. Interrupting that scanner and locking in their first round of map 1.
Round starting.
Solid opener for the Ascendancy squad, for sure. Let me make sure I have teams right, too. I just want to... Yeah, we're good. B-side push. Stacked B-side offense. Very prepared for a B-side push here in round 2. A lot of counter utility coming in. Semtac's going to catch one through the smoke. They'll pick up another. No, Ferdinand actually there to find that kill. And the overwhelming force of Ascendancy comes through. 4 left alive. And round 2 locked in and confidently. 2-0 here. This is, I want to say, the number 5 seed versus the number 4 seed versus number 5. Ascendancy is the higher seed, but their overall regular season records, DNA was showing a better regular season. So early days, first 2 rounds, these teams feeling out each other. Let's see if some utility connects little bit more prominently for DNA this time around. They're going to be challenging a bit more aggressive on B as you see the swing up there. Onto this front line, absolutely pushing back Ferdinand, but Ferdinand reacting nicely, dropping back just in time to pick up a double. Can't make it 3. They'll get scooped up. There's the double for Alex. And a swing wide, Semtex absolutely mowing them down with Bambuza on the flank, and Ascendancy with another scanner interrupt and another point on the board. A bit more of a coordinated and better struck play, you know, better executed by DNA. But when we watch back onto that replay, you really see the reaction time nicely here of Ferdinand and the entire team coming in to support. You know, Alex does catch a double here, but they'll go quickly down. Big sweeping kills coming through. The fast and furious on-site stacked, not quite working for DNA to break through this Ascendancy front line. So, you see then, a change in strategy. Let's try split. Reality going to connect with a nice nade. Sets things up for them. Bambuza holding tight. And that smoke going to give away Af's position. They'll rotate off and reconnect into the 3 stack towards B. Gonna be tough. Well, make it not so tough. 4 stack. Little Ensign to zone. Nice swing there. Almost connects from Granddad. Gonna push up on that tight corner, and Scanner may go down here. The entire team just around the edge, and they can't find any. An overwhelming amount of targets results in no kills at all. Ferdinand, Reality on VR, everyone barreling through here as Af is alone in a 1v4. Scanner getting interrupted, and they do not connect. I mean, low HPs on Bambuza and Ferdinand, but everyone alive. High fives all around, and Ascendancy on a strong, commanding defensive half here. 4-0 on Miru Knight. If it keeps being this fast, then nice kill there from Tay, early pick. Reality zoning. Rest of the offense trying to push in here towards A. Nice kill for Granddad. And now A site's wide open. The rotation having to come in from defense. An opportunity as Tay has to crash back. Flash around that corner and go down to a nice nade from Af. Good hit on the corner. Time for the retakes. Reality on VR. Semtex. Scanners down, and Semtex swinging wide, goes down, and both players pick up their targets.
Round starting.
Finally, DNA on the board. Offensive half not starting so strong, but we're only halfway through this first offensive half, and so opportunity to maybe even tie up this map 1 for DNA. But regardless, a good A site push, and now they go back to B. B is getting heavily stacked with an aggressive frontline defense here. Semtex only catches 1. Af here, that nade right around the edge of the smoke, and Granddad catches the kill. Tay and Line Juice trade down to keep things in advantage for the offense, and DNA come barreling in strong and steady, and Bambuza's left alone in a 1v3 position now known. Great flash on the corner. They'll tuck in for a brief moment and swing wide to catch Granddad out. Half HP, though, was the cost of that move.
Scan started.
1. Can't make it 2. Aft finds the kill. DNA clawing at this 4-point lead. Now it's only 2. Smokes are out. Semtex catches one with that nade. Ferdinand tucked into the tight corner, waiting for the advance to B site. And it's going to be B site. Scanner is here on the corner. Ferdinand's position now given away. Vulnerable to a potential nade in the corner. Needs reinforcements, and Semtex is here. Try and provide that. And they're trying to get rid of this backline defense, but they're really nicely tucked in back here. Scanner does go down, and a nice kill through the smoke for Lime Juice. AF also picking up one, turns it into a 2v3 very quickly. Confident retake. Bambuza is looking to scoop it up. A swing wide there. Bambuza catches that kill. Reality on VR shuts down Lime Juice from peeking the corner, and a good coordinated retake. Ascendancy back on the board. 5-2.
Round starting. Get ready.
Last round of the half, and then we swap sides, and we'll see if that's what DNA need. Ascendancy have come out super strong here on their opening defensive half in round 2. Map 1. Round 2 of the turn. And another early kill for Semtex with the nade. That's the second time in a row they've done that. Certainly seems like B site was the play. A is most certainly where Scanner is going to be moving. No, now it's backing off of A again. Maybe not feeling confident with what has been a rotation from Bambuza. Tay catches Flow Snow. Bambuza goes down. Af at least catches that one out. On the swing to go and control B site though. Grandad gets caught out by Reality, and it's a 2v4 now with the Scanner tucked into the back line, unsure on what site to commit to. Scanner's down. Reality picks up a double. That's the half. Ascendancy
We're switching sides.
in clear control. Take another look at this one. Nice snap pick up there, and then the long range battle. A good 1-2 for Reality on VR as they put their KD up to 8-4 on the map. Nicely done. Bambuza 9-4. Right there with them, competing for that top killer of the map. The pistol round, and Alex tucked into the smoke, unbeknownst to Reality, but they'll snap to it, finding their first kill of the pistol half. There's the second, a nice double. They make it 3. Yes, they can. Reality with a triple on the backside of B. Rest of the team cleans things up, and Ascendancy, with everyone left alive, take their offensive point 7-2. 2 more to go, and they've got themselves map 1 in this best of 3. Good swing there. Semtex again with the early kill, but this time with the rifle, not the nade. Smoke on site comes through, and Af catches 2, but goes down in a trade on site. erupts into some chaos here as Flow Snow and Grandad try and deny Scanner from going down. Grandad finds Semtex, and now it's all up to Ferdemon. Try and clutch things up. 1v2 now with a nice kill there. Not ready for Lime Juice. Catches him out, and well, those 2 offensive points could be hard to get. Could have a clash here, Lime Juice. And Alex both connecting with a 1-2. Semtex does catch Af around the corner with a nice nade, lobbed low and slow. On a good read on this flank. Are they going to have the support they need? They are. Ferdemon catches out that rotation. An aggressive maneuver from DNA. 2v3. Ooh, and Grandad gonna look for the double. Catches Ferdemon. They get flanked on the back line too. A good read from Semtex. They know it's coming, but Alex is there.
Round starting. Get ready.
DNA on defense, looking strong here. Very, very strong opening rifle sequence. The pistol round, not what they want to see. You know, it's not what you need when you're down to a a 6-2 game. But these last 2 rifle rounds have been very strong on defense for them. Having a very hard time on the ascendancy side of breaking through. Looks like Reality on VR won that one and picks up the double. Ascendancy absolutely locking in on the coordination, but this time towards A site, not B. B's been well defended these last 2 rounds by DNA, but maybe they found a bit of a weakness in the A side coverage. Tried to get the nade out, couldn't. Af catches 1. They have Alex as well. The retake not impossible, but well, the 1v4 might be. Good hold from Ascendancy, and they get closer and closer to a map 1 win.
Match point.
Wonder how many fast map 1s we're going to have this afternoon in our second round. Love to see that nade slice through that corner there. Nice pickup. Nade out over the top. Nicely lobbed in the smoke. Chaos unfolding here. Reality comes barreling forward, and a nice flash slows them down. They'll pick one up. Tay on the other, and Reality cleans things up for the team. Map 1 solidly in their hands. Ascendancy looking good. Start of this series. Love to see it. A fun back and forth to open things up. We've also got a report that Ascending has won their match. They went up against Asterix. 6th seed beating the 3rd seed in map 1. Maybe that's where we're headed for map number 2 here. Let's go right on over to that. Let's see. The provide lobby code. they have. We're getting ready to go into map 2 here for this series, but I'd like to go to a different one. So we can spread the action around a little bit. So, head on over to... Oh, we've got it. Oh, interesting. Is this a 4v5? Let's see. No. 5v5. More into the action. This is Sending versus Asterix. Let's make sure we get the right team set up here. Thank you all for waiting, for being patient with me here. Okay, I've got it. Let's set it up. Asterix. Battle of the A's. Sending. Lovely. Reset scores. And get us into the action. Map 2 of this series. Here, opening up with a very fast couple of kills. Obviously, this map probably going to be an incredibly fast one. We're tied up 1-1 in this series, and blink and you'll miss. Everyone going down. Sandy with a nice nade puts Asterix up 2-1.
Round starting. Get ready.
Reminder, Ascending leading this series. Map 1 went to them 9-6, I believe. Yes, let's update those scores. And now here we are on map 2, 1-2. Big swing in, Jack on the re-kill over the top, and look at this, absolutely dominating. I don't know how you follow a battle here on Frio, because it is quick-paced. Do my best to just watch mini-map and snap to what I think is going to be the next best thing, but I also have my mouse stuck on that. I have that stuck rendering, so apologies for that, but troubleshoot that later. Of VAIL trying to push in, but finding a lot of resistance here in these short quarters. A swing wide, and that doesn't connect for Mushroom. Snap 2, and Deimos catches the kill. Looking for the push in. Scanner getting swung wide on the backside. Catches one, can't catch two. Carnage with the refrag, and everyone barreling in, screwing in Sandy on the flank. Connect, and Asterix.
Round starting.
3-2 in map 2. Oh, I'm on the wrong screen. Am I on the wrong screen? No, I'm on the wrong screen. Okay, jeez. Woo, I got scared there. Yeesh. Frio. Chaotic, to say the least here. turning lasers on will give us a little bit more perspective of where these people are aiming here as Carnage pushes forward. Catches one, the refrag connecting there, but the whole team stacked heavy. Jack gonna have to swing wide. Annex and Jack both on the edge. Jack catches one, Annex up one in the middle. Chaos unfurling here on A site. The push definitely intended here, but now a 1v2 and Annex holding high ground. Scanner into the hands of Sandy is actually going to be dropped. For a moment, I thought they were dropping off of A, maybe rotating over to B, and I think that maybe Annex is thinking that too. Take enough time. Yeah, Annex now going to go check other site and completely drop off where this duo is. Good patience coming in here from the duo. But also an opportunity where they could be planting right now and completely uncontested. And now at this point, Annex is a little confused. 45 seconds left. And I wonder what is happening. Where is site? Where is the scanner getting planted? And the duo now taking site control, wondering where's the defender? They were just here. I'll take a free scanner plant. Annex recognizing that they never actually dropped off of site. And now they have to attack A site in a 1v2. Not going to be easy. 30 seconds. I like this wide rotation, though. It's not going to get anyone off guard, though. Really, really well read. And there's the duo. Farrells pops up to clean things up. Asterix for 2 in map 2, and this could be our first best of 3 series if Asterix have anything to say about it. It's early days. It's opening rounds. It's the first half of this trio map. So once the side swap comes in, we'll see what the defense looks like for Asterix. Considering ascending 196 map 1, worth keeping in mind that maybe that side swap's going to be important here. On the retake, going to nade up on the site. Pulls up the gun for a trade. The swing from Annex, they get caught off guard, and everyone down on ascending. Asterix with another quick round. And the final of the half now for their attacking side. 5-2, certainly a strong opening offense on map 2. It's going to come down to how they execute on defense, though, truly, so. Two might be enough. Might be the foot in the door that ascending need when it comes to the side swap and the attack. Deimos getting flashed. Flies out into a rifle right to the head. 2, 3 left alive for ascending. Make it 2.
Scan started.
The duo rotating wide here. Oh, and a nice flank from the back end. Jelly catches one. Fortunate enough they didn't get pushed too hard. Tosses another nade, and on the short corner, they're not going to be ready. They had multiple swings that were about to hit them, but Asterix with a good bit of teamwork and coordination on the attacking half. Go up 6-2. We swap sides. And again, map 1 went 9-6 ascending. Relentless walked in their scores, a bit of a spoiler alert, beating Academy 9-0 and 9-2. Pistol opener going nicely for Asterix. 4 left alive and an absolutely collapsing around the offense.
Round starting.
We saw tide shift once rifles were in hand for what series were we just on? I can't remember. Could be could be the case here for ascending. Again, it could also be a complete reversal. It could be that Asterix just went real strong here in map 2. Maybe Frio there. Preferred map at this point. Nice nade over the top. Mushroom connects with that one. They know the push is coming on site here. They've got the smoke indicators. Everyone's ready and waiting to defend. And Jack does catch out a key kill. They'll be able to spin around and look for more, but all they'll find is shots to the face. Sandy
Match point.
puts Asterix up to match point for map number 2. And we may stay here. To go to map number 3. The other series that's live that we could pop into is Relentless and Academy. No, that one's finished. Academy's finished. Vanguard Gaming vs Sunset Ravens. That's the other one we haven't checked out. Oh, that nade almost connects on the barrels. They will catch Jelly, though, just on the edge of the smoke. Get picked off by Carnage, pushing in on the site. Retake not going to be done well. Sandy goes down, a nice double kill for Carnage. And Mushroom has to try and flush everything up alone in a 1v4. A solid offensive round. You like to see it. Ascending, connecting a little bit here on the attack. Backs against the wall, though, quite frankly, because it's match point every round from here on out until we get to an 8-8. If that's what Ascending are going to be able to do. Aggressive defense now getting pushed back just a touch as the edges start to kind of crumble a little bit. The push coming in here from Ascending. They don't want to get too aggressive. They've lost one very early, so they're at this point they're kind of on the hunt for a pick, but their time is ticking down on the clock. 1:20. Could maybe played this a touch slower to try and get the kills they needed, but everyone's getting picked off, and it's going to be map 2 very quickly into the hands of Asterix. Now we wait to see where we go for map 3 in this best of 3. Our first of the postseason for EU. At least that's my understanding of the score, as we can. I don't know what map 1 was. And yeah, we're actually going to stay here because we're getting reports now that Vanguard Gaming beat Sunset Ravens 9-3, 9-2. So although Sunset Ravens, we just saw them win and advance in, they went up against VGG, who I think was seeded 2nd overall. And had a bit of a tougher time. 2nd seed versus 7th seed. This is 3rd seed versus 6th seed, and so it's actually really surprising to me that we did have what we had with, there we go, with Ascending taking a map. But we're going into it. It's not Kitty Day either, it's Kitty Night. We just walked through that, but we're going to Kitty for our final map of the afternoon. After this, we are done for today on the EU side of things. Kind of a quick couple of best of 3s at the end of the day. We've popped around to a bunch of series. Seen a lot of teams play. But it's going to be Kitty where we finish things off. And let me make sure I have teams on the right side. I do. Asterix on the attack, Ascending. Excuse me, Asterix on defense, Ascending on the attack. And our pistol opener to kick off our first best of 3 of the EU postseason. Well, our first 3rd map. On a place that we're all quite familiar with, nonetheless. It's not a Frio scenario here. Screwing. Big nade connecting on the back line there and absolutely overwhelms the offense. Kitty, for the most part, lent its way to defense, I feel like. For at least most of Season 1 and 2. We saw a shift in Season 3. And with a little more offensive points getting locked in. But just a pistol opener, too, so we'll see. Another kitty has entered the room. But she's a little more resistant. Look at this. Very heavy push coming in on the site. Chaotic in trying to really get this Asterisk team caught off guard with all these smokes on site. Scanner doesn't ever come down and no one really connects after the smokes dissipate. So it leaves TTV Deimos into a 1v3. And they can't find Mushroom there, so. In the chaotic smoke-filled A-site push, Asterisk still come out on top. But I do like to see Ascending kind of poking and prodding with strats, right? Like that's, you see what happens when we go full force, when we go chaotic, when we throw a smoke, how do they react? And then you use that data to figure out how you're going to want to attack in future rounds. Cat tax. Once more. We'll put her up on camera. There's not action unfolding in front of us. Farrell's about to find one. No, he can't. A little over-aggression from the Asterisk defense here, committing pretty heavily into the midfield and to that backline flank. Sandy here now in the front, trying to fend off this push through midline, but that's, again, a risky position to be holding. This rotation is going to catch them out, and nice kill there from Jack. Refrag, but another one right back out of the Van-X, and Natman on site trying to hold things down. Scanner is down. They can't find Deimos. They get picked off on the back line. 1v3 there. And Ascending with an offensive point, a nice bounce back and a good timing to do it too. Not too late into the first half where it feels like you can't find another point on the board. You got a lot of opportunity here. They can easily tie this up to 2 and be in a very good position in the opening rounds. I see the request. Can we see some Natman POV? Not when they're dead. A site, definitely where the push is coming in. Scanners here in the hands of Jack. 3 kills so far on the half, and they're going to make it 4, but a trade. Belly into a 1v2, and they don't necessarily have... It isn't really... It's a 1v1 currently. Reinforcements coming in with Sandy here now.
30 seconds remaining.
30 seconds. I don't know they have enough time for full rotation either. They're going to have to get this kill on the Sandy here on the corner, and they are not quite ready for them to be tucked in. Could have been a chance where if they pick Sandy off, they sprint to B and get it down, but didn't quite work out that way. Also getting reports that the other series, Ascendancy, has finished. So we have, as our winners so far, Academy winning 2-0, Vanguard Gaming winning 2-0, and Ascendancy winning 2-0. And absolutely everyone stacked up here, ready for Mushroom to peek out there. Are they ready for Ferals here? But no, they're not. Carnage is picked off. Another. Makes it 2. Ferals looking for the triple. They're going to swing out and find an exposed attacker there, but they won't get it. Jellymeat scoops that one up. Natman. Approaching in from the midfield here. Going to try and affect this retake. Screwin and Sandy both finding their kills, though. Does put Damo with an opportunity. No, doesn't quite catch it out. Damo's still battling off the 1v3 and will get absolutely surrounded by Asterix defenders. And just a good bounce back from a round lost. Makes it 4-1 in the half. Starts to go their way a little bit more like they needed to, because I do think, again, when it comes side swap, you're going to see Ascending putting up a lot of defensive points. It's just how it's going to be. Even if Ascending pick up another offensive point, I think if they get 2, it'll be enough to keep this map 3 pretty dang close at the end of the day. That's my prediction for our final map of the afternoon. Everyone alive, nothing connecting so far. Big spread coming through. Belly gonna drop off of that after realizing gonna hit from a couple more angles. B site could be the play here. Certainly looks to be the play on the overhead. Sandy can't make it a double, and a big exchange back and forth of players. On site puts us into a 3v3. A 3v2, excuse me. But I like the spread here. Jack fending off the retake while Jellymeat has to take site.
30 seconds remaining.
Does take sight, so now they have control of sight again, but they'll lose it quickly. Jack has to get rid of the flank. They'll swing out and trade, and it's Asterix with one left alive on Ferals. The defense. That could have been it. That could have been that second point that they really needed on the sending side, but not quite. 2 more rounds to go before we swap sides and reset to the pistols. And if it is only 1 point that ends up going to Ascending side on the offense, then Asterix could be taking it to match point very quickly. So it's yeah, it's with a pistol round they could be taking it to match map series point. Loser goes down to the loser's bracket and plays again tomorrow. Winners don't play till next week. Pick up there, but a 1-for-1. Very clean defensive set there from Asterix.
Round starting. Get ready.
4 left alive, and sort of what you expect on a kitty defensive setup there. Let's see. Do or die. Last round of the half. Ascending. Can they put another offensive point on the board? Don't want to go into your side swap 7-1, but it's not impossible. It is workable. B-site hasn't really been on the menu much for them so far today, but it's also maybe because the utility placement, the defense has just been a little bit more successful at B. Pick up the counter nades. None of those connect, but Deimos' nade does. Carnage is going to be able to fly through these smokes. Springing out for a nice kill there. Good read. Can they make it 2? No, they can't. Mushroom shuts them down. The flank coming in from the back line. They're going to have to be careful of that, but Mushroom and Feral's also deploying a flank of their own. They'll shut down that rotation from Jelly on the back end. Mushroom screw and finding kills themselves, and now it's the on-site push coming through. 1 for 1. 1v1. Scanners down. Deimos has to buy time. Now they have to fight. Knife comes out as pistols, and Deimos. They'll get Ascending a second offensive point, and that could be huge. That could be the route to victory for Ascending. We'll have to see. It would be nice if Ascending could get a very quick pistol round. Locking in this pistol round is going to be huge. If they don't, it's not the end of the world, but it's a... gosh, I guess I don't know. Typically a point that goes offense, I feel like, because you have the advantage of stacking your pistols to one site. You don't necessarily have that advantage on defense because you have to spread to both A and B to read where the defense, where the attack's coming in. Once you know it's B, then everyone collapses. You can see on the overhead, everyone collapsing to B site here. Snapman can't find that kill. They'll trade down in a trade. Feral's on site, goes down to Annex. While B is cleared, they still have 1 left alive. Screw-in, been a standout shooter, 10 and 4 for this Asterix squad. Definitely a threat, trying to jump check. Catches Jelly in the corner. The smoke denies the line of sight. Splits it apart into a 1v1, and now Annex, with a minute left, going to be engaging with Screw-in here. And Screw-in clutches it. A massive move. A massive pistol set. A huge denial of a point on the board for Ascending. And on the side swap, they open it up with an offensive point. That is exactly what Asterix needed. It would have been nicer if they had managed to make it 8-1 right now, because they'd be looking at match series point. But a huge clutch for Screw-in puts them in a solid position nonetheless. Big play there. Screw-in shuts that down. Jelly was trying to get aggressive and set something up, but they'll pick up a double on this aggression from Ascending on defense. And on a map like Kitty, you don't necessarily need to. Jack finally catches the kill, though, a nice refrag through the window. Scanner in the hands of Sandy. And they'll take A site uncontested. No one is home. Really nice rotation. Good read on offense, and Annex trying to find some kills here. They did any damage, but 4 left alive. So now all swinging in defense. Sandy finds Annex. Jack on site. Can't hit that scanner without them knowing, so we'll go down, and a nice cleanup from the Asterix side. A solid offensive point, and again, a really good rotation that puts them into a position where they could be locking in this series and advancing on to the winner's bracket. A shout out to everyone tuning in, hanging out, and stopping by. A shout out to the teams that played this afternoon. If you are hanging out, we do appreciate you. Been a very solid evening of VAIL gameplay, honestly, and it's been a lot of fun to be back into it for the postseason. So, again, a big thanks and a big shout out to the EU squad for playing this afternoon. Man, I can't catch all of them. It will be at one. Carnage with a nice double, though. Finally, this Asterix offense getting a little bit of a slowdown. 1v3, though, and you don't want to get overconfident in a position like this, but Annex will shut it down. And now Ascending are fighting for every point, every inch. It's a match point notifier at the start of every round from here on out. Should be telling them series point as well, because, well, that's what it is. Loser here goes to the losers bracket and plays tomorrow. And if they lose there, then their season's over. Again, B-site bait, A-site swing, but this time a little bit more disadvantage, 2v4. Asterix do get that scanner down, though, and everyone's going to have to collapse back onto site. 2v3 now. That nade nearly connects on the Jack. It's a well-read toss. A little poking and prodding going on in the corners there. Time is ticking down, 25 seconds. Farrell's catches Jack trying to swing in. Time continues to tick. 15 seconds. They're going to have to hit that interrupt soon. 1v1. 7-5. No, they cannot get it. They have to stick it now. One-handed rifle, and they can't. Sandy with pistol shuts it down. It's Asterix locking in the series win and advancing on to the winner's bracket. Ascending, suffering a map 3 loss, but nearly taking down the higher seed. The number 3 seed, no less. That would have been an impressive sequence there. But a fun one to tune into, and I believe that is all for the afternoon. Let me double check our schedule because how EU is organized. I believe tomorrow we have losers bracket matches. I plan on casting all 4 of the games. Hopefully we can organize that well enough with the teams playing. And we should see 4 best-of-3 series tomorrow. So a lot of action for EU tomorrow, but it is all we have scheduled for today. So a quick shout-out to everyone stopping by, hanging out, and enjoying the action. And a reminder to go check out the Breachers EU postseason, which is live right now on this same channel, the VRML network. But that'll be it for me. A shout out to the mods, shout out to the players. Thank you all for stopping by. Tune in tomorrow, same time, same place, 8 p.m. PST. Also tune in later today, 2 p.m. PST. We'll be diving into the VAIL Challenger Cup. 5 maps that determine 2 teams, but they'll battle it out in the best of 3 tomorrow, and the winner goes on to the double elimination tournament in next weekend for NA. So a lot left for VAIL today and tomorrow. Games that you're not going to want to miss. But that'll be it for us here for now. My name is Nightfire with 2 E's. Until next time, this is tomorrow or later today. Stay classy. VRML is brought to you by XLab,
Exclaim, Helga, the esports manager,
HyperX, ProTube VR, VR Cover. Thanks for watching VRML.